All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Maya? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh my God, you made it. It's another episode of We Did That Shit.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Bibbi.
Hey.
My mic sounds nice. Check 1.
Check
My mic
1.
sounds nice. Check 2.
Check 2.
I'm so hyped.
Drum roll.
Yes, we got new mics.
New mics. We hope that you hear the improvement of the sound.
Yes.
We Did That Shit is moving on up. We are trying to make it, professional over here for you guys.
Betterer and betterer. We just try to get betterer and betterer. Oh my goodness. So, Maya, what are we getting into this week?
A week of who did some shit. Because there's so many people doing shit.
Okay, so we're going to start with, it's still April, and we have our Who Did Some Shit Autism Awareness Edition. And this week we have another guest. Her name is Tara. Tara is the mother of a 17-year-old daughter who has autism spectrum disorder. And I had an opportunity to interview Tara, so here we go. Hi, Tara.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for being on this episode of We Did That Shit.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited. So
so am I.
Tell the people who you are.
My name is Tara Cook. I am the mother of a beautiful autistic girl. I used to work for the state. I had to retire from my job early to take care of my daughter.
Oh. Okay. And how old was your daughter when she was diagnosed with autism?
She was 11 years old. I took her around to a bunch of different psychologists, neuropsychology, and they all gave her the wrong diagnosis. And it wasn't until I switched her pediatric doctor and she gave me the right diagnosis.
Wow, 11 years old?
Yes. So that's why I left my job, because I wanted to make sure that she got everything she needed because she got a late diagnosis.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even imagine all that time not knowing,
Yes.
trying to do what's right and not knowing.
Yes.
Now, is your daughter vocal? Does she talk? How does she communicate with you?
She is very vocal. She now she has great eye contact. She's very articulate. She she's repetitive, and she repeats things over and over again, but she can verbalize very well.
Now, does she have conversations, or does she just kind of answer one answer? Because my son, he will not have conversations, but sometimes if I ask him something, he'll say yes, no, maybe, or, give it like a one-liner. But he will not, you can't ask him more than like three things in a row.
Well, before she was diagnosed and she didn't get those social skills she needed, she was like that. She wouldn't even talk.
Okay.
But now she will engage in conversation.
Okay. So how old was she when she started talking?
She was about 3.5.
Okay. Before she started talking?
Yes.
Okay. And what activities does she enjoy?
Television. She enjoys television, and she writes. She writes these great stories. They're really dramatic sometimes. She uses a lot of imagination, but she will write for hours.
Wow. Like she writes her own storybooks?
She does. Yeah, she's been doing that since she was about 5 years old.
Well, have you ever published any?
She won't give me the books.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
She will not give me the book, but she will tell me the stories that are in the books, and they are awesome. And she wants to be a producer.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that is awesome. And how old is she now?
She is 18 now.
18.
Yeah.
And what do you feel has made the biggest difference for her?
I think she noticed that I fought for her because it's really hard to pull her out, and she's always withdrawn, and she's smart as a whip. But she noticed. I told her, if I have to work hard, you have to work hard, and I think that drove her to work harder.
I like that, Tara, because a lot of times people, they focus on what our children can't do.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that there's so much that they can do if we just put it on them,
Yes.
then they come around. Because when I stopped cooking for my son, all of a sudden his chef skills just came out of nowhere.
Yes, and that's where we are now.
Right. Right. He cook everything he eats. He cooks himself. When I stopped doing his laundry, all of a sudden he knew how to use the washing machine. There's so much that they can do. We just have to put it on them.
Yes, and I didn't want to, enable her because she picks up things very easily. When she didn't learn her alphabets until the 5th grade, and I had to fight to get her into a school that could teach her, but she went into the school in October. She didn't know her alphabet, and she in April she was reading.
Wow.
So she really picks things up really fast. So we're at that place where I understand the cooking. I'm like, I'm not cooking for you anymore because you can cook.
Right, right. And how are you doing?
Right now, I am being challenged because she is 18 now, and she stems she stems a lot, and she does it in public. So she's not aggressive. She's very meek. It's easy to take advantage of her, So right now I'm kind of afraid. Like, she wants to go and live in New York on her own, and because she's so high functioning, she can understand that this is something that you might not be able to do. So right now I'm just really at a place where I'm worried about what happens for adults with autism.
Right, right. It is a hard transition. It's a very hard transition. And she wants to live in New York City and be a producer.
Yes.
And she won't publish her book.
And she won't publish her book.
And this is, this is just not, it's just kind of how they are. Like, I found out my son has a YouTube channel. He has over 1,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel. People have watched his videos over 300,000 times. And I'll ask him something, and he'll look at me like I have 7 necks. Like, that doesn't concern you, lady. That's
both of us.
Like, that's my stuff. But, wow, Tara, you really threw me off because, we like for the podcast to be raw, so we don't like to rehearse a lot of things. But I met you some time ago, and I never knew that your daughter was diagnosed so late.
Oh, yes. She was diagnosed really late. And, I worked so much that I knew that something was not typical about her, but I believe the diagnosis that she had before, which was intellectually disabled. So it wasn't until I hurt myself at work that I realized this is not typical for an intellectually disabled child. This is something else, and that's when I got on the phone and I called her pediatrician, and she immediately said, I always thought she was autistic. And I went and I looked up, autism, and she had almost all of the symptoms. So And that's when I had made a decision that, you know, I really need to focus on, I wanted to make sure that she received everything that she can to live at a high functioning level. And I couldn't have done that without support and working the hours. I had a demanding job.
Okay. And people don't realize the sacrifice. You know, when you have children, first of all, you want your children to live their best life.
Yes.
And there are a lot of parents, you know, working to, you know, sustain life, to pay bills, even if it doesn't matter if they're working and they're super successful or they're working to struggle and pay bills. But work is a very, you know, it's a regular part of life for a lot of things. I am fortunate in that I was a stay-at-home mom until my children went to school 4 days. So Jiggy was 5 when I started working, and it was still I started part-time so that I can be there before and after school. But this is a very real issue. And also finding services for our children, our adult children who are high-functioning, they still need support.
They do.
So,
and they need more programs, too.
They do, not for them and also for parents.
Yes. Because they kind of just dump you at 18 and you figure it out from there. And
exactly.
So that's where I am now. So I don't want her to lose her social skills. It's hard to get her out of the house. You know, she's very meek and timid, and she doesn't like confrontation. So she pretty much becomes anxious during, you know, when somebody's confrontational, and she has a difficult time with change. So that's my concern for her future. What can I do? You know, what's out there to help? You know, so that's where my struggle is right now.
Now we are over the time, but I just have you applied for guardianship?
I did not know about it.
Oh, well, I haven't. However, it was something that they said, and when my son was still in school, they said, you know, when he turns 18, if you're still going to handle their affairs, some agencies will say, well, do you have guardianship? Because then they'll take what they say. You know, in all things, Xavier can't speak for himself.
Right.
You know, so you have to have guardianship in order to speak for them in all things. But I haven't, like, my son will be 24 in June. I haven't applied for guardianship yet because I haven't come into anything where I would definitely need it. But I'm doing some research because I heard that guardianship can also hinder as much as it could be helpful. So I was just wondering if her school brought that up to you. But guardianship may be something that you'll need in the very near future. But I heard it takes a little time, too, like maybe 12 or 18 months to get it.
Well, I will definitely look into that. I appreciate that information.
But I thank you so much for coming on. April is Autism Awareness Month, and you know, I am very passionate about it. It's a wonder-filled world. Exactly. I love, you know, my baby and the joy that he brings. And I'm just so glad that you can join us and give, you know, your view and your experience of what happened. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us and providing information with. And it was very informative. I was just sitting here listening, letting you tell your story and having Bibbi, you know, talk to you about this whole thing because it was just very informative, especially that your daughter was diagnosed so late.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that really threw me when you said it. I was like, oh, my goodness. You know, because I can imagine the struggles that I saw very early on.
Yes.
And
could you imagine going to multiple doctors, psychologists, and, you know, I went to the educational side. I went through my pediatrician, her pediatrician at the time. I went to multiple doctors like 3 each year, and they all were like, no, she's fine. I think she's going through this, or she was bullied at school, so they blamed it on bullying, and they just gave me a bunch of excuses. And I finally got the right diagnosis, which made sense, once I received it. But I just had to fight for, social skills, so I took her to everything I could because I needed to catch her up because she had been deprived of the right diagnosis all that time.
Right. Wow. That just goes to show what a mom will go through to get her baby what she needs. And she's only 18, so that wasn't long ago that you were still being guided in the wrong direction.
Right.
So, and that's why there's such a need for autism awareness, because people still don't know.
Yes. And that's why I'm so passionate about people being aware so that they can help their children, because I know for my daughter, she wouldn't talk. She has 2 older siblings, and she wouldn't talk to them. And now she jokes with us, and she engages in conversation. It's awesome to see how far she's grown.
Wow. That's great. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. Tara, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story.
Yes,
we really appreciate you. And kudos to you for getting them services that baby needs.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. That was great. I just have to put it out there, though. I was happy that Tara reached out to us and that she was willing to come on the podcast and share her experiences. But some things she said really shocked me. Yes. I met Tara some years ago on a flight back home from Essence. And we talked about autism practically the whole flight. But I certainly did not know that her daughter was diagnosed so late. And that really floored me. Can you imagine all that time? She's been taking her to the doctor since she was 18 months. Mm-hmm. And she was misdiagnosed.
And get the services to help her.
Right. And her daughter is only 18. So that happened only 7 years ago. And, to be honest, sometimes, we talk about awareness of things that are important to us. But sometimes people really, beat you over the head with stuff like, breast cancer awareness and this awareness and that awareness and this awareness and that awareness. And you feel like you hear it so much that people are aware. But she was taking her baby to professionals and they weren't aware.
Right.
That is crazy to me. Mm-hmm. Crazy to me. But, I'm glad she's doing great now. She wants to go to college, live in New York City. She writes stories. She's just doing it up now.
Doing it up.
Right. So I always say it's about their ability. No diss. It's about their ability. So thank you, Tara, for that.
Thanks, Tara, for joining us.
All right.
So,
who do you have?
I mean, listen, it's one big week of who did some shit. And everybody that's been listening to the podcast, that I'm getting ready to go left. I mean, thank you, Tara, so much for joining us. But now let's get into the shits.
Yeah.
All of the ratchetness that's going on in the world. Where do we begin? Did you see this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, the reunion, the second part?
I did.
I just wanted to talk about that real quick. And not the whole reunion, but just the one thing about Kandi and Portia, because we're back on Kandi and Portia. And they touched on what happened last year. And for those of you who don't know, Portia, says some things about Kandi that she tried to drug her. No, Phaedra, said that, told Portia that Kandi tried to drug her and take her back to her house, give her like a Molly or something. And her and Rob, who the hell is Rob? Her and Todd, I don't even know. hey, Rob, you might be my future boyfriend. No, her and Todd was going to have a threesome with Portia. So now fast forward to this year, and they went throughout the whole season. They've been kind of talking, but not really. You know, Candy is not forgiving. And on the one hand, you know, Candy gets on my damn nerves, but I understand that not forgiving part because I'm not forgiven in a lot of instances. But this is why I wanted to touch on this week. Backhanded apologies. You can't tell me to apologize to you, but then tell me how to apologize to you. Like, if I say sorry, no matter how I say sorry, it's sorry.
Right.
Don't come to me and say, no, you should have said sorry like this. No, I should have said sorry like I wanted to. And this is the reason why I don't really say sorry to people like that. Because you're not going to dictate to me how to say sorry to you. I'm sorry. Candy.
Not only that, but if you don't accept the apology, don't accept the apology. Don't try to act like it's all right and it's not all right. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You have a choice in your life. Like, you're grown as hell. You have a choice not to be around a person. If you don't want to film with Portia, don't film with her. If you feel like, Portia, I can't forgive you, I can't move past it, it's okay. Like, you have every right to do that. But don't say to the girl, oh, okay, if you apologize like this, it'll be okay. No, bitch, I apologize. Like, that's where I'm at with it. And so for all those people out there that's like, no, Portia should take accountability for what she did when she said sorry.
Right.
Now, should she have said, damn, maybe, no, she shouldn't have. She should have said sorry, and that's it. If she doesn't say what she's specifically sorry for, then obviously she don't think she's sorry for nothing specific. She just thinks she's sorry for the whole situation.
Well, she did say for the part that she played in it, for not, for just believing on the onset and for bringing it up the way she did. She did say that. However, I just want to point out, let the record show that I said this some years ago. I told you, I was like, you know what? Candy gets on my nerves because she is that friend. She is that friend that no matter what you are going through, you could be going through hell, but the hell she going through is worse, and you need to be there for her. Like, I don't care what, she say she a good friend, but she that kind of friend, like, I don't care if you got something major going on, she got something major going on, and it's more major than what your major is going on. And I mean, for every single thing, if we getting a divorce, I'm so devastating. Let me go check on her, but I'm trying to open up a restaurant. I don't care what
she has going on is more important.
Every single time, like, she is that friend. So if you want to be friends, and people really are like that. There are people that no matter what you're going through, like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to be there for you, but I was going through blah. Right. And it don't even be nothing. You know what I mean? But to them, everything that they're going through is so much more important than what the other people are going through. And I said years ago that she is that friend. So if you want to be friends with her, you just have to know that nothing you going through, nothing you doing, nothing is more important than what she got going on. So.
I just wanted to mention that real quick, just because, again, don't tell me how to apologize to you. Just accept the sorry or don't accept the sorry. But moving on from that,
what else
Meek
you
Mill
got?
might be coming home.
Free Meek Mill.
Free Meek Mill. I think that the Meek Mill thing is interesting as hell because, like, first of all, Meek Mill is in jail for a parole violation or probation violation.
Meek Mill is in jail because this judge is riding his dick. That's why he's in jail. Well,
that too. I mean, the judge is like mad obsessed with him.
Yes.
It's crazy that they still even have her on this case and that his lawyer is not able to remove her from this case. Like, I don't know. How much money are you paying these lawyers, or I just don't understand it, but he might be coming home soon. I was reading just some information that said that he could be coming home as early as next week. And they're saying that if the judge, Janice Brinkley, if she has anything to do with it, of course he won't
be
coming home. But they're having so many rallies and all kinds of things. Like, did you know that Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, went to go see Meek Mill in jail?
What, he wanted to sign him up?
Yeah, I'm so confused. When I read that Robert Kraft, the owner of the racist ass Patriots, who was out championing Trump. I mean, like, he was Trump's number one supporter, putting up signs tattooing it on his forehead, vote for Trump. And he went to go see Meek Mill. I just feel like he went to go see Meek Mill. All these older white men are going to go see Meek Mill. Don Lemon, is his name Lemon or Lemon?
Don Lemon, the broadcaster.
Yeah, on CNN.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He just went to go see him. I don't know what's going on with Meek Mill, and I don't know if Meek Mill is being the poster child for I made an example out of you and you're going to sit in jail and this is so unjust, and so all of these people are going to make him the poster child for what he's going through, like basically getting railroad. I'm thinking that could be it. I hope that Meek Mill comes out and he's holding the flag for that specific thing, because I just don't get why Robert Kraft, of all people, would go see him. Like, it's not like the owner of the Sixers went to go see him too, but he's not like the owner of the Sixers. That's hometown, like. The Eagles came out to Meek Mill's intro when we won the Super Bowl. Yeah, we are Super Bowl champions.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So, they came out to his song. I could see them going to go see him, but like the rest of these people, what the hell is going on?
And if they are going to see him, is anybody got friends that can get with this judge? Because that's the only interest that I hold. I can't stand injustice, and I just think this is crazy how this woman is flexing this power, keeping this boy in jail. It's ridiculous.
Especially for 2 to 4 years. Like, he got into the incident in the airport when he was fighting in the airport. Then he was riding dirt bikes in New York City. And I mean, like, all of those things, come on. Even those little infractions, I just don't think 2 to 4 years. But it just goes to show you, this is how they railroad young black men. You know what I mean? They keep them locked up. It's modern day slavery, mass incarceration. We'll have a whole topic and a whole show based around mass incarceration. We'll have some people on, talking about the topic. Some people who we know personally who have been in the justice system. And I think that's going to make for a real interesting show. But moving on to the rest of this cycle. Shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Kendrick Lamar won the Pulitzer Prize for Damn.
The Pulitzer.
Yeah.
The Pulitzer Prize, not Grammy. Right. Even though congratulations on the Grammy, any awards are wonderful.
Right.
But the Pulitzer Prize, I mean, come on now. Hip hop is it.
First hip hop artist to do so.
Yes. Hip hop is it, and I think that's I did see Kendrick Lamar in concert twice. Okay, I don't know.
Hell of a show.
What? Right? I'm not even going to tell y'all how Maya was on the seats. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was a fan. I was
when we first saw Kendrick, what it was I used to listen to Kendrick's mixtapes, and so I was always a fan, but when I saw him in concert, I was like, damn, I'm like really a fan because I know all his damn songs. And everything came on. I was like, yo, this is my song. Like, I love Kendrick. What I love the most about Kendrick is that he's like black as hell. And he does not apologize for being black. He ain't trying to hide his blackness. All his albums is black as hell. They talk about our issues, what we're going through as a people, how we can rise as a people. And, well, I love that. So
that's right. That's right.
I love him.
Congratulations.
So we want to say congratulations to him. Right. I mean, listen, our culture, we doing it big out here.
We doing it up. You gonna notice us. Okay?
Right. So what we got next? Oh man, how about the Cardi and Nicki beef? Do we know about the Cardi and Nicki beef?
If by we you mean me, yes, yeah. I know. And I just want to say this. This is what you can tell the people, whatever you want to tell them. I don't want to call it a beef. You know, Nicki Minaj is acting like a little weirdo, but okay. But this is all I have to say about that. I know Little Kim songs. And I know Cardi B songs. I don't know them Nicki Minaj songs. So as far as I'm concerned, Nicki Minaj can have several seats. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I mean, I will say that I'm not a Nicki fan. And the reason being, it's not even because she makes bad music. Even though her music is not my style of music, she doesn't make bad music. But what I don't like about her is, I can't stand somebody that's not humble. One thing that I hate the most in life is, well, I probably hate a lot of things, but I don't want to say hate. I dislike a lot of things, but I can't stand someone who is not humble. Now, you're right. You're absolutely right in what you said. We don't want to call it a beef, because beef is when two people are at it. Two people, both sides have to have something going on.
Right.
Cardi B doesn't have anything going on, because when you are winning, you aren't in a beef. And here's my thing about Nicki Minaj. You are a megastar. Right. You are a megastar, across continents. You're a megastar. But you have low self-esteem. You're not humble. When you came out and everything about you has mimicked Little Kim. Everything. Little Kim was the first. And people, leave it in the comments if I'm wrong. Little Kim was by far the first person that I know who came out and was a sexy female rapper. Prior to Little Kim, we had Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, Roxanne Shante. I mean, the list goes on. Moni Love, people like that. Yo-Yo,
Right.
And they were either conscious rappers or what I call boom bap rappers.
Right.
Like hardcore, like MC Lyte, My mic sounds nice,
Right. Well, there's hardly nothing feminine about MC Lyte, but they didn't do the sexy thing. They were cute.
Right, they didn't do the sexy. They were cute girls.
They wouldn't do the sexy, right.
Right. And they were all about female unity and et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, hardcore, because even thinking about Yo-Yo, she came out with Ice Cube, like Roxanne Shante. She had Shantae's Revenge,
right.
So it was all like that type of thing. Little Kim was the first female rapper that I know that came out and was sexy as hell, talking about sex, but, raw in your face, a fashion icon, like a true legend. Little Kim is a legend. And then you had Foxy Brown. Then you had female rappers that came out that was mimicking that. Now, Nicki Minaj, you came out and you were mimicking that. But you wouldn't give Little Kim her props. You give everybody else props except for the person that you stole your whole swag from.
Right.
Now, fast forward to 2018. You've been off the scene for a couple months. Cardi B then came, a true Cinderella story.
Exactly.
Came from the gutter, and now she on the cover of Cosmopolitan, headlining at Coachella, all that good stuff. And now you want her to give you the same homage that you did not give to Little Kim. Cardi has been on record many a time saying that she loves your music, she loves you as an artist, you paved the way for people like her, etc. What the hell you want her to do? Get down and kiss your feet? But see, this is where the low self-esteem comes in at, because Nicki want to be the only one. Back in the days, and I sound old as hell, back in the days we had multiple female rappers. Now you want to be the only female rapper. Everybody that comes out, you shut it down. All of the stuff that people were saying about you, like when you had the beef with Remy Ma, they were saying oh, she just wants to be the only one. Obviously, we're seeing that it's true, but you can't stop what God has in store for you. And God had this in store for Cardi B. And so now, move over. You're bigger than her. You know what I'm saying? You could come out with an album. You have a legion of people behind you. They going to support you. Like, you're good. I don't even understand why you feel the need to have her kiss your fucking feet.
Maya, you can't fix self-esteem. Like,
well, that's true.
Yeah, you can't fix self-esteem. And, you know, Cardi out here doing it. I like Cardi B because she's unapologetically herself. And I liked her when she first came out on Love and Hip Hop. She was funny to me. And, you know, when Bodak Yellow was #1 on the Billboard charts, she was increasing my Jeopardy score. You know, and I listen to her little mixtapes because they be popping. When I got to clean my room or something, you know, you need something upbeat, you know, they be popping. And I'm going to learn how to twerk like that. Get me a couple dollars. I'm just saying.
Listen, did you see her twerking on the ground at Coachella pregnant? Oh, I said, let me tell you something. You about to twerk that damn baby right on out of you. And if that would have happened, that would have been a Coachella that people would have never forgot. But
it's a Coachella that people ain't never going to forget already. But okay.
Well, you know why it's a Coachella that people ain't never going to forget. I mean, you know, I done said all of this, and the real thing is about the Queen. The Queen came in. The Queen, for all of you who don't know or that you're living under a rock, is Beyonce, of course. Beachella. Beyonce came.
Beachella. Okay.
Well, that's what the hashtag was. It wasn't called Coachella anymore. It was called Beachella.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, Beyonce was supposed to headline Coachella last year.
Oh.
But then she got pregnant. If you don't like Beyonce, you don't like yourself. Like,
you're crazy as hell.
Listen, if you don't like Beyonce, if you feel like she alright, no, like, you don't like yourself.
I love me, and I think she alright. I mean,
don't disrespect the Queen.
I'm not disrespecting the Queen.
That's mad disrespectful.
She's not a queen. I'm not in the Beehive. I don't.
She definitely is a queen. First of all, we all black queens. Don't try to disrespect Beyonce. Listen. That's like me saying you ain't a queen.
Listen.
Are you a queen?
I am a queen.
Oh, okay, and so is she.
Okay. I'm not in the Beehive. I don't dislike Beyonce at all. I don't and there are a couple songs.
I'm in the Beehive.
That you are the Beehive. Like, I don't dislike her. There's a couple songs that I really like. You know, like, oh, you know, that's cute. But the last time we saw her in concert, I fell asleep.
Let me tell you about the last time we saw her in concert. Well, not the last time I saw her in concert, because I see her in concert every time. Definitely getting my On the Run 2 tickets this week. Whoop, whoop. But when we saw her in concert at Essence, the time where you're talking about you fell asleep, everybody in my section was mad old, right? I'm older. I love old school music, and you know Essence is a mixture. So for Uncle Charlie, they was doing it the hell up, you know. But then when Beyonce came, they was sitting their asses down. They got mad at me for standing up throughout the whole show. And it almost turned into the church situation from last week. Like, if you say something to me while the Queen is performing, this will be the Essence Festival you'll never forget. Right. But no, Beyonce... You know, I mean, Beyonce killed Beachella, and $25,000 to 4 schools. Well, 4 students going to each of these schools: Tuskegee University, Bethune-Cookman University, Xavier University of Louisiana, and Wilberforce University. So she's giving 4 deserving students $25,000 apiece for a $100,000, you know, grand total. And I think that's just wonderful. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
she does nice. So much that people don't even really know. But yeah, so that's Beyonce. I could go on and on, but you know, we got to move on. So you know, let me just talk to you about this really quick. Did you see the story with the 2 black military women that got assaulted by the trash ass white woman?
Lady.
Yeah, and her son at where was it, at Cheddar's in Macon, Georgia? Cheddar's restaurant. Cheddar sounds like...
Where was it? Cheddar's.
Yeah, it was at Cheddar's. Because when I heard the name Cheddar's, I was like, damn, they probably got some good ass food.
They don't. I don't like Cheddar's.
They don't? Oh,
no.
Man, the name is deceiving.
They had one in Virginia. I went to one. It's in like Newport News. It was dirty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn, Cheddar's. Well, anyway, it was two women in Cheddar's, 34-year-old Stephanie Mitchell and 27-year-old Treasure Sharp. Mm-hmm. And again, they were dining at the Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen in Macon. Mm-hmm. Yes, in uniform. This happened on Saturday. And this trash-ass woman, a 70-year-old white woman from Macon, Georgia, attacked them during a verbal altercation that they had. They have video out there. If you have not seen it, go and look for it. It is crazy. The video shows her son and her walking up to these women, having a verbal altercation, and then the lady going to go sock one of the girls in the face. At which time the girl says, I'm filming you, and I'm pregnant, and in military uniforms. When I saw this video, it burned me up so bad because all I kept thinking to myself was, these people show so much restraint during times like this. Just people in general who videotape instances like this. And I know like you're videotaping it because, you know, you want the proof. The 71-year-old woman and her son, I don't know about her son, but I know she definitely got arrested during the incident. But I'm just saying, these people show so much restraint because I couldn't have that restraint. The last thing that I would be thinking about if a woman got up in my face, I don't give a shit if she was 125 years old or she was 18 years old. Don't get in my face. Don't get in my face. Don't touch me. Don't push me. Don't do anything to me because I would not be thinking about pulling out my camera and videotaping it. I would be thinking about busting you upside your damn head.
And all of this was over not even a parking spot.
Right.
It wasn't even over a parking spot. It was the fact that she felt that they didn't wait while they finished parking before they proceeded. What?
What kind of white ass, trash ass privilege do you have to have to say that you're mad because you didn't wait while I did something?
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
It's ridiculous.
Ain't that crazy?
It's ridiculous.
Well, I got something ridiculous for you.
You got something more ridiculous than that?
Yes.
Oh, well, what happened?
Yes. I'm just going to say.
Wait, we talk every day. I don't know this?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
And I had to save it because I had to get your raw reaction. So, Thursday.
This is a family show. I hope I don't do too much cursing. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, it's too late for that. But Thursday was just like, Thursday I experienced a trifecta of white privilege and racism. I mean, a trifecta. I really could not believe like these things were happening. So the first thing that happened was at work, we got an email about an upcoming all-company meeting, you know, all locations, everybody. They have these meetings. And usually to build, like, morale or whatever, to make things spirited and fun, they have, like, some kind of contest. So, and when we had the meeting in the fall, it was a scarecrow contest. Everybody make a scarecrow, and then you vote on what's your favorite scarecrow.
Okay.
So this spring meeting or whatever, it's in May. The theme is summertime. And for the little contest thing, they said, we want you to make a tiki totem pole.
A tiki totem pole. A tiki
totem
pole. Okay. I'm trying to picture it in my head.
You know what I'm
talking about?
Like a
tiki torch?
No, the tiki torch is like the light.
A totem pole is, I know what a totem pole is. Is it made out of a tiki light or something?
No, I think tiki is like because it stands high and it's the wood.
Okay.
Okay. Did you watch Brady Bunch?
No.
You know, when Bobby found the little tiki in Hawaii and all those things was happening to him?
No, but keep telling me what happened, and I'm not old enough to have been watching the Brady Bunch like on a regular basis to know that Bobby found a tiki torch in Hawaii. I mean, a tiki statue in Hawaii.
Stop trying to play me.
I'm more like the Moesha than the Brady Bunch.
Stop trying to play me
during that time. But okay.
First of all, so it was a tiki. So I said I was reading the email, and then I read it again. Mm-hmm. And then I read it a third time, and I was like, you know, I'm just looking at it like, And I closed the email, and, you know, they tripping. Because, you know, I love culture. Mm-hmm. So, first of all, the people who carve these totems are cultures of color. Native Americans, French Polynesians, Hawaiians, Indonesians do it. You know, like they're cultures of color, number one. Mm-hmm. And they're in different cultures, they symbolize different things, but it's all on the same line of spirituality. Some of them use them to call on the ancestors, or they put things in it so the ancestors protect them. And they're sacred. Some of them, you know, carve them like they carve their gods, whatever, but they're very spiritual, very sacred type thing. So I'm just looking at the email like, you know, okay. Mm-hmm. But I didn't say, I thought it was a little insensitive, but, you know, I was like, okay, you know, I'm not going to respond right now. So Friday and Monday, I was at a different location. I don't check my email when I'm there at all, whatever. So when I get back to my main office where I am, I sent a little email to the person who sent out the email. And I CC'd my, you know, manager. And I just said, you know, hello, in my experience, not what I read, you know, in my experience with these cultures who carve these poles, they are sacred and spiritual. I think some people may find this offensive. I don't wish to participate.
Okay.
You know, my manager comes in and says, oh, other people responded as well. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, and they put something else out. I said, oh, so I'm thinking that they responded to the response of people who are saying like, you know, it's a little suspect. What are you doing? You know. So,
of course they didn't, but go ahead.
Okay, because the response was, I hope you're getting excited about the meeting. Maybe if I educate you on what the tiki totem pole is, What? Maybe
educate you.
What? I couldn't believe it. And then, like, the first line of the education, I guess, portion of the email was, these are spiritual and sacred carvings.
Well, first of all, that's what I said. And second of all, you did a Google search, bravo for you. You ain't got to educate me on a goddamn thing. Because what you said, the key words that you said was sacred. Meaning we shouldn't do it. And spiritual. Meaning that we shouldn't do it because you don't bring spirituality or anything spiritual or religious into the workplace.
Okay.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. So keep in mind, I thought it was me. I thought I was tripping. So keep in mind that this was not her response to my email. It was the response to the other emails that she had already received, because the email went out on Thursday. I didn't respond until Tuesday. Okay, so it was, but the way my manager was presenting it to me was like she fixed it, you know? So when I read that, I was like, So then now I'm starting to get a little upset, you know.
Right.
So I highlighted that line in her email and said, you know, see, this is what makes it inappropriate for work. You said it yourself.
Right.
So then the next email comes out and says, we're just going to change the name of the contest to the statue contest. And that's in all caps, all of this, you know. And I was like, your first email was insensitive.
Right.
Your second email was disrespectful. And your third email was demeaning. And then you want to call my manager and say, she sent me this email. Well, he knows because I CC'd him. And he was like, oh, but maybe the tone, whatever. What tone? I said, see, I mean, like this, you put it in your own email and nothing, that didn't click to you to tell you that it was inappropriate?
These people are white, right? Oh, okay.
Of course, because white privilege, they just think that they can do anything. With anybody's anything.
And then you going to say, I CC'd you in the email, so you already saw what the email said, talking about your manager. I CC'd you on it. And then you going to come back and say, well, maybe it was your talking about you, right? Correct.
Right, That's tone.
Talking about your tone. No, if you thought that I had a bad tone, then you should have addressed that to me when you first read the damn email, because I CC'd you on the email. Don't wait until she says something and then you come back to me and say, oh, maybe it was your tone. No, you didn't think that it was my tone when I CC'd you on the email, did he?
No,
exactly.
And the email,
no, they're all in cahoots together. But this goes back to what I always tell you time and time and time and time.
Well, hold on,
again.
Maya, because my manager is black.
You all my life.
My manager is black. Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I always tell you the same exact thing. I don't mess with who? Neighbors and coworkers. I don't mess with neighbors and coworkers. Because let me tell you this about a coworker. Only one of my coworkers listens to this podcast when his ass listens. But that's because he's been my coworker / friend for 10 years. So I trust him. And I don't give a shit what happens because, you know, I don't care. Stop dealing with coworkers.
I'm not dealing with coworkers. I CC'd him because he's my manager. She sent the email through him. It wasn't like take sides or nothing. It wasn't. I don't even care about that. My problem is, my issue is...
You don't think that he took sides when he said...
When
he came back to you and he said... No, it is about caring because you are my manager. That means that you take up for me. If you were wrong, then he should have approached you when you first CC him on the email. He should have came to you and he should have said, Bibbi, maybe your tone in this email was X, Y, and Z. You wouldn't have said anything in reference to the tone or anything else. You wouldn't have came and said anything to me if she hadn't presented it to him and said, this is what she sent me. No. And the woman who is talking about, I just need this question answered. The woman who is talking about she sent me this email and we're just going to call it a statue, all this, that, and the third. She black?
No.
Oh, okay.
And of course, black? My manager.
The boy?
Yes.
Is black?
Yes.
Trying to be with the white man. Oh, my God.
But he did say something before. My original email was very nice and polite. And then he said, she responded to that because other people said something. So I was like, oh. So I was looking, when I saw the response, that's when the response said, that's when I saw that it was, let me educate you. And so my response, right, which was disrespectful as all get out.
As hell.
And so my response to her was, yes, you see this line, and let me educate you. This line right here where you say spiritual and sacred, that tells you that it's not appropriate for the workplace. So, and then my manager came and because he only saw that. He said he saw that. So he was like, Bibbi, like, so before she said something, he said something about that. And I said, no, that wasn't my original email. And I read him my original email was not. He's like, oh, I didn't see that one. So he did say something before she did. He did say something before she did. But that's neither here nor there. The point that I'm trying to make is this privilege, and nobody wants to see it. And instead of just admitting that you were wrong, because I'm not the only one who said anything, and then you want to sit there and minimize us saying, oh, we just want to change the name, instead of making this a teachable moment,
the same thing.
And nobody wants to be wrong. And, you know, it's not even like I put her on blast in front of everybody. I just emailed it to her and my manager, because I don't want anybody to come back and say, I did such and such and such and such. You know what I mean? But that's just how they are. Everything they do is right because they're white. Which leads me to the next thing that happened on Thursday. When I came home from your mom's house Thursday night, and you know I sit in my car and I debrief. That's what I do. I sit, especially if a song is on that I'm listening to or whatever, I'll let the song play out or whatever, do my little woosah. I sit in the car. That's what I do. So, you know, I live like on a college campus and everything. And so I saw the cops go around or whatever. I ain't paying no mind. I'm sitting in front of my house. And then I seen them go around the next time. And I'm thinking, you know, they do their job. They're just patrolling the area. So I'm in the car for maybe about 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. It's my car. I sit there. I'll go home in the house when I feel like it. I'm grown. They don't pull up on the side of me, roll down the window and say, ma'am, are you okay? You know, they don't do that. He gonna pull up behind me, shine all this bright light from his car, shine all this flashlight from his hip, and be like, may I help you? No, you can't.
Can I help you?
Yeah, like, no, you can't help me. Like, what do you want? He was like, well, you're just sitting here. I can't sit here. Now, I got my scrubs on and everything, you know what I mean? I'm sitting in my car before I go in the house. Right. Well, where do you live? Why? You know, he was like, well, man, we just checking. Well, isn't it funny because when I call you, when they out here making all this noise and hoopla, you tell me to call Metro. But you out here bothering me.
Right.
You don't get back in your damn car and get out of here. I was hurt.
That's
you hear me?
You know how I feel about the police too.
And first of all, I mean, they do go to a real police academy and everything, but you a darn like school cop. Get out of here. Like, and
go to a real police academy?
They do. They're real, like, they work for the state. They real, like, state police. Yeah, they are. But who cares? Get out of here. Because when I call you for something, you always talk about call Metro. Fuck out of here. I was hurt.
And if you feel like, well, you're just sitting here and you wanted to know what I was doing, it was a better way to approach
exactly.
The
and you rolled by twice.
This is why black people keep getting murdered by the police, because and my thing is this: where you live at, right around the corner, it's a gazillion things going on.
Exactly.
You ain't thinking
and you
about
ain't
what's
over
going
there.
on around there.
Exactly.
No, but you want to harass you because you just sitting in. And my thing is this: what the hell did you think I was doing, sitting out here casing the joint? Right. And if I was, what were you going to do? Because all I was doing was sitting out here, even if I was casing the joint. Like, I'm chilling in my car. So what were you going to do? Like, you didn't have anything on you. What were you going to do? That's why, that's the list. That's the list right there. Co-workers, neighbors, and police. I don't mess with at all. Now, I do talk to my one little neighbors, but they 81 and 83.
Oh, they made the cut.
I mean, they made the cut because they're in their 80s now. If they was in their 60s, they would be a no-go. But Thursday was very interesting for you, I see.
Yeah.
You know what else happened? On Thursday?
The Trifecta. My half BFF, Starbucks. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Starbucks.
Well,
let me just say this. Starbucks, I didn't feel any kind of way about Starbucks because, for a week straight, I had went to Starbucks.
Right.
Every day. I was going there. I don't know. I like their chai tea that they have. And so it was next to my house. So I went there one day, got the chai tea, the banana bread, and a bagel. It was $10.65. And then my dumb ass went back every day. At the end of the week, when I was looking at my bank account, I was like, yo, and this was breakfast. just breakfast. I was like, damn, I done spent $50 in 1 week on Starbucks. That was the end of me and Starbucks' relationship. But tell Starbucks, what happened at Starbucks?
So at Starbucks, downtown Philly, 18th and Spruce, and there's a Starbucks literally every other block in Philadelphia. Like every other block, there's a Starbucks in downtown Philly. So there were 2 black men who came into the Starbucks, and one of them asked to use the bathroom. The girl told him no, because you have to be a paying customer to use the bathroom, and he just went back and sat down with his friend, and they were just sitting down waiting. I guess they were waiting for somebody, whatever. They were just sitting down. And next thing you know, 6 or 8 cops comes in, told them that they were trespassing, and arrested them. And they said that they were waiting for another person. The woman, there was 2 people who recorded it. The friend came in, and I have to mention this now. The 2 black men was on time for the meeting, and the white man was late. Just saying. But the man who was meeting them came in and was like, what's going on? I'm here to meet them for a meeting. And he's like looking all confused, like, what happened? And the lady who is recording is saying they weren't doing anything. They were just sitting there. The manager never asked them to leave. Nothing ever happened. Somebody else came in and used the bathroom and left and didn't buy anything. And I don't know what's going on. So there's just some points I have to make about this. First of all, Starbucks. This is a culture that you created. When you got the free wall, Wi-Fi, everybody hang out in Starbucks all day, every day till the end of the time. Now, I've had job interviews in Starbucks. I've met my friends in Starbucks. I bring other people's food and eat it in Starbucks. I study for my finals with all my classmates in the Starbucks. You know what I mean? Like, you can do anything in Starbucks, and nobody says anything. And that's the culture they created. And now 2 black men can't sit down and wait for somebody else to start a meeting, and the manager didn't even ask them to leave. She just called the cops.
Called the police. Right.
She just called the cops.
And her reasoning for calling the cops was because in that particular Starbucks, which is what I think it was 17th or 18th and Spruce, in downtown Philadelphia, they have had instances of people loitering in that Starbucks. But the thing is
but she never asked them to leave.
Right. You just automatically called the cops. You didn't know what the situation was or anything. But it goes back to your point that you just made, was it's a culture that you created. Loitering is basically what Starbucks has made it comfortable to do. When you created this community environment. You created this community environment, like you said, where people can almost do anything at Starbucks. But now, because like you said, 2 black men are sitting in Starbucks, and because they didn't order anything, I don't go to Starbucks. I'm not a Starbucks customer. However, in the times that I have been in Starbucks, I have been amazed at the things that I see in Starbucks, because I'm always like, damn, you could do that in here?
Anything. They don't bother anybody
not
for anything.
Because you are sitting there ordering a $10 cup of coffee. No, just because they are sitting in Starbucks. And this is a racial issue to its core. It's nothing about this that you could play devil's advocate and you could say, well, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this. No, there is no maybe. It is 100% a racial issue. She called the police because she was scared of 2 black men sitting in a Starbucks not ordering anything. You did not go over to them and you didn't ask them to leave because you were scared, but you called the police. And the fact that the police came in that video as deep as they came in, it wasn't one police officer that just came in and said, hey, what's going on, guys? Whatever, we got a complaint. What's going on? For them to say, hey, we're waiting for somebody, or whatever the case is. No, you came in there like it was a damn Jeffrey Dahmer in there to arrest these 2 men, and didn't even ask them no questions, because the lady The lady who videotaped it clearly saw that it was an issue from the beginning, which was the reason why she took out her camera, because she knew that it was about to be some bullshit. She knew that. That was the reason why she took out her camera. And you might talk to this point, but I just wanted to say, the way that the police came in there, those gentlemen, it goes back to this story that I was talking about with these two black military women. The restraint that they showed was just phenomenal, because they didn't get upset. They didn't raise their voices.
Well,
they didn't do anything.
Because
they
just
stood up. Right. They just stood up and put their hands behind their back, because they knew what was going to come. And that's the reality that we face as black people, that when you see the cops, you automatically think, let me stand up and put my hands behind my back, or let me show you my hands so you see it's nothing in my damn hands, and let me just not say anything, even though you are 100% wrong and I'm 100% right. I can't say anything to defend myself, because I could be dead on the spot.
Exactly. And, even though the police chief Ross came out and made a statement saying that the police didn't do anything wrong, I don't agree, because every call...
Yeah, it was aggressive.
He said, and not even that they were aggressive, because they weren't aggressive.
They weren't aggressive with them. It was aggressive. The whole instant, them coming in there 7 deep.
Right.
What would possess you, unless the manager said on the phone, these two black men sitting in here, they got a gun. I don't know. I feel like my life is in jeopardy. What the hell you coming in there 7 cops for? Like, come on. You call for backup if you feel like it's a problem. Like, in downtown Philadelphia, it's always some damn cops walking back and forth, loitering some damn where themselves. Probably in Starbucks.
And every call to the police does not have to end in arrest. There was no crime being committed. Nothing was done.
And that's what the lady said.
Why are these men being arrested? So I do believe the police have some accountability. But I want to talk about Kevin Johnson. And I'm telling you, he's the CEO of Starbucks. He's only been the CEO for a year. And you know me, especially as far as consumer affairs go, I'm very unforgiving. And, I'm not breaking my neck to get to Starbucks or whatever. And I don't want anybody else to either. But I will say, Kevin Johnson's response to this situation is the best I have ever seen. I have ever seen. His initial letter, not the little post that the company put out on Twitter real fast when it happened, but his first letter, public announcement to the people, the letter was excellent. I mean, he was very succinct. He was to the point. He accepted, he said it was wrong. He accepted responsibility and said, things are going to change. And, he said, I'm writing to convey 3 things. First, to once again express our deepest apologies to the 2 men who were arrested, with a goal of doing whatever we can do to make things right. Second, to let you know our plans to investigate the pertinent facts and make any necessary changes to our practices that will help prevent such an occurrence from ever happening again. And third, to reassure you that Starbucks stands firmly against discrimination or racial profiling. He says that the reason that the manager called the police was wrong. The manager is no longer working in the store. And no, she's no longer working with the company.
When did that come out? Because the last I read, she just wasn't
working in that store. No, she they asked for her resignation. So she no longer. She
should have got fired on the
exactly.
spot. I mean, come on.
She no longer works for the company. And then he was on Good Morning America. He spoke very well on Good Morning America. He did meet with the 2 gentlemen who were arrested. He did apologize to them in person. I'm not sure if they're going to pursue a lawsuit. I would.
They should.
Yeah, they should, because they were embarrassed and they were arrested
100%.
On, the video went viral. It was terrible. But this is the clincher for me. Even though I'm not racing to get back to Starbucks. I still have to give Kevin Johnson props because this is the kicker for me. 8,000 Starbucks locations will be closed on May 29th for training. Now, anytime people shut down racial bias training, and anytime somebody shuts down their business and loses, the money is not what's the issue. We have to do something. That really says a lot about, them wanting a change. And so I think Kevin Johnson did a great job. I think he did an excellent job. However, for everybody else, before it happened to you, and this is where I had the grievance, because with all of the social injustice going on, he said that the manager didn't think that the men would be arrested. Well, where has she been living? Under a rock? In 2018, when you call the police on black men, they're dying. And so you don't know that?
Not getting arrested, dying.
Yeah, they're dying. You don't know that? Like, what is wrong?
No, she knew that.
What is wrong with you? Exactly. So, and Starbucks, not just Starbucks, but everybody. You see what happened to Sony. You see what happened to H&M. You know what I mean? You see all these. You see what happened to Dove. You see what happened to Heineken. All of these things are going on. They need to stop what they're doing now. If they don't have a cultural competency committee, they need to start one now. Because I'm sure Starbucks was like, oh, that doesn't affect us. That doesn't affect our bottom line. But look at you now, Starbucks. Right. Look at you now. So you need to have it. Clearly, my job needs it. Because we have none.
Your job definitely needs it.
We have none. And I'm saying whoever you are, you have to start putting these things in place. So, we know that as African Americans, we have the most powerful dollar because we do the most shopping. So I'm a kind of person, like, I was really obsessed with the Starbucks thing. I was reading, like, every tweet, every Facebook post, watching every news program. I was just I don't want to say I couldn't believe it, but I just wanted all the information. These people talk about, I'm going to wait until the investigation is over to see if I'm going to boycott or not. I can't believe that there has to be a backstory. They couldn't have just been arrested for sitting there. Yes, they can.
They can.
And they were.
It happens every day.
And they were.
You were about to get arrested in front of your damn house.
Exactly.
Sitting in your car, you was about to get arrested. And that the employee knew exactly what was going to happen.
Exactly.
She called the police because she knew what was going to happen. If she didn't feel like she knew what was going to happen, she would have went over there and said, do you mind leaving? What are you here for? What are you doing? No, she knew exactly what was going to happen. It was a racial profiling at its, core. And here's the thing about Starbucks. Let me say this about Starbucks and Kevin Johnson, since you spoke about him. I do tip my hat just slightly to Kevin Johnson. And the reason being is because of this. He came out and not only apologized, but he's putting action behind the apology.
Exactly.
Where with these other companies, they give the generic apology and then they move on as business as usual. And Starbucks, at least, even if nothing comes out of this racial bias education training that they're having, at least they're doing something. Now, I don't want to say that to say, oh, I'm giving them a pass because it's like, well, at least. However, in the past, we have seen that other companies don't do what he is doing. And for him to be the CEO for only a year, he don't want his name to be dragged in the mud. So he's at least trying to do something. And I tip my hat off to that because they could have very well, brushed this under the rug and said, oh, like well, H&M, just like all of the other companies have done, Hopefully something comes out of it, However, you can give people all of the damn training that you want to give them. Racism is embedded in this society, in this country. America was built off of it. People own
not just America, white supremacy.
No,
well, yes.
Right, but I'm talking specifically about America because we live in America. You know, I don't live other places. But yes, we know that racism is a global issue, and it's going to continue to be a global issue. And it doesn't matter, not saying that you shouldn't do it, because you should do it, you know, but it doesn't matter how much training you give someone. You could give me all the damn training that you want. I'm still going to believe in what the hell I believe in because it's my belief. Can you change? Sure, you can change, but you have to want to change. This girl is going to go on to go to another company, and she's probably going to do the same thing because what she sees when she looks at the black men is fear. She doesn't look at people. She looks at fear. You know, it's amazing to me. I don't even want to go into all of this because you know how I could start rambling. But it's just amazing to me that white people are scared of us when they was the one that owned us.
And beating us and thinking everything was
who have always been, and they be violent to us. We have never been violent to them. It's amazing to me. You know, the cops, the Philadelphia police, you were wrong in the situation. Police officers, you get trained on how to de-escalate a situation, and it wasn't even escalated. So I don't want to hear that bullshit of, oh, they ain't do nothing wrong. Your ass is in it too. You know, and we'll see what comes out of it. I hope that these men sue the hell out of Starbucks. I hope they get a big fat ass payday from Starbucks. And no, it's not about the money. It's the principle of it, but I hope that their asses get a big payday from Starbucks. And this teaches these companies that you can't just treat anybody any kind of way. And it's a shame, really, for real, that this falls back on Starbucks, even though it was going to anyway because she worked at Starbucks. Exactly. It was a decision that she made, not a decision of Starbucks. I mean, I seen Kevin Hart tweet that out, and I saw that he got a lot of backlash from it. But, you know, I kind of agree with him in this, but she was acting as Starbucks. When you work at Starbucks, you're acting on behalf of that company. If this happened at her house, you know, that would be a different story. But it happened at her place of business. You were acting on behalf of Starbucks. And that's why Starbucks is getting the backlash that they're getting. And people are calling for a boycott of Starbucks.
And she was the person, she was the person in charge. So it's not like somebody else did it and they could go to somebody else and say, you know what, they're okay. You know what I mean? So she's certainly not someone who can lead. And also the regional vice president of the area, she was on the ground when it happened. And, you know, the next day that they were protesting, and she was just telling the protesters, like, please, you know, don't badger the employees. We didn't give her the tools that she needed to make sound decisions. And so they were taking all the blame, you know, and I think
they're taking ownership of the situation.
And I think that's great. But the fact of the matter is, you know, you can't turn, you know, Starbucks, you should learn from what was going on before this happened to you. And other companies need to learn from this before it happens to you. Because I have already made a personal decision. Now, I know my $37.23 may not go far, but it's important to me. And I have made a conscious decision. I was like, you know what? I am buying what I need. You know, I'm really going to try to be a minimalist. Like, I'm going to buy what I need, and I'm not going to spend another dime. Well, you know, I got to go on vacation. But, and I'm flying American Airlines because I just found out American Airlines supports one of my charities that I support, Mana. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. You can't keep, because the fact of the matter is everybody's probably racist anyway, you know, no matter what, you know, what I'm using. So I was like, I really made this conscious decision to, like, you know what? I'm not shopping. I'm not getting anything because, praise God, I don't need anything. You know? But you know, I had this habit, like, soon as I sit still, I get online. Like, I'm always shopping online. As soon as I said that, I'm checking my email, and I got this email from Neiman Marcus with a new Louis Vuitton line for the summertime. And when I tell you these wedges are just like the cutest thing I ever seen in my life, I was like,
well, I'm the wrong person to be like, back away.
Right.
Because
but I'm not going to get
the wrong person. Don't. If I have to be supportive or whatever, I would say don't do it. But
I'm not going
secretly,
to do it,
I'm like, yo, send me the link so I can see them too.
They are so cute, Maya. They are oh my gosh, they're so cute, and they're wedges, and they look so comfortable and summery and cute. And
all right, well, get off of that. Listen, let's get off of that.
I'm not going to buy it.
Okay, don't buy them. Let's get off of that. But I want to say this one last thing about Starbucks, and then we're closing out the show for this week. But a gentleman that was on the ground during the beginning of all of this mayhem made he's like a community activist. Mm-hmm. I can't quote his name right now, but I was in New Jersey for a couple of days, and I happened to be watching the news, which I never.
Right.
It wasn't. He said that, do you get the magnitude of what you did? That you could have ended these two men's life that day.
Right. Right. She's like, what?
She didn't.
Exactly.
Right. And I'm sure that she didn't, because again, she will go on
and she still
probably
doesn't
do this again.
Right, and she still doesn't. She really doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. She didn't get it then, and she doesn't get it now. No. It is terrible.
Right.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we'll just, pay attention to what the next couple of weeks are going to bring for Starbucks, especially after May 29th. I'll be very interested to see what happens after that. But, so you know what? We hope that you enjoyed the show this week and all of the random topics that we talked about, all the random shit that's going on. I mean, so much more, but we do have to wrap the show up. Once again, thanks for joining us. We hope that you are enjoying the new sound that we talked about in the beginning. We're very excited for what's to come. We are improving every week, and we hope that you enjoy the improvements and you continue to take this journey with us. As always, I'm going to give you the spiel that I always give you. Follow us on all social media. We can be reached on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at We Did That Shit. It's one word, We Did That Shit. Again, it's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit us up on social media. We post all the time. Let us know how you liking the show. If you're not liking the show, if you have something specific that you want us to talk about, let us know. Let us know if you are enjoying the show. And again, if you have something that you want us to talk about. You know what? I'm getting all of these signals from Bibbi, and I'm sorry. That's the reason why my closing is so randomly crazy this week. But it's crazy. It's crazy what I have to go through, guys. But yeah, so listen. Don't forget to hit us up. Leave us any questions, comments that you may have. You can also email us at wedidthatshit@gmail.com. Again, it's wedidthatshit@gmail.com. Just let us know. Most importantly, don't forget to listen to the show. We need your listen. We need your rate. We need your comments. We need your subscriptions. But we need you to actually listen to the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell some kin to listen to the show. You can always reach me at MyMy13. That's MYMY13.
And I'm at Bibbi Amina. That's BIBIAMINA.
Listen, before we get out of here, we want to shout out our boy 12 Kyle, over a fellow podcaster. He has a show called the 12 Kyle Podcast. Make sure that you check him out. Last week it was the week before, right? The week before he did his whole show on the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. It was a great show. He broke it down. I mean, if you really want to hear about that album, how he was feeling during that album, what you was feeling during the album, because it brought back so many memories when I listened to his show. But this week, Lauryn Hill announced that she was going on tour for the 20th anniversary of that album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and get a ticket and go over and listen to 12 Kyle, because again, he breaks down the album. We just wanted to give him a special shout out because he is definitely a faithful listener, and we really enjoyed that show, 12 Kyle. we're going to get out of here. We'll be here again, same time next week.
Remember, be great this week. Stand for something. Do that.
We Did That Shit podcast is produced and edited by Selena Singleton and brought to you by Wonderful Me Media. Wonderful Me Media. What's wonderful about you?